What's good? It's Woog. We are continuing our 2023 Grammy Awards coverage. We are going category by category. We are predicting winners. We are picking our winners in terms of who we feel is the most deserving of the award or who we would like to see win. And now we are getting into the major four categories. Those four categories are Record of the Year, Album of the Year, Song of the Year, and then the category that we are taking on in this video, Best New Artist. Best New Artist is the only award that you can win only once because you can only be recognized by the Recording Academy as a new artist one time around, unlike other awards, Album of the Year, Best Rap Album, and so forth, that you could be nominated multiple or even several times. And with Best New Artist, it's pretty interesting. Like, you would think that it's kind of a shot in the dark in terms of how a lot of these Best New Artist winners' careers will age over time. But they more or less get it right in terms of being able to, not so much predict who had that best year, but also kind of projecting who's going to continue to have success going forward. Like, if you look at the last four winners, the last winner was Olivia Rodrigo. I mean, she's still a new artist, but her Sour album was fantastic, and she's already pretty well renowned in the game as both a recording artist and a songwriter. So she was the last winner. Megan Thee Stallion before that. Then you've got Billie Eilish winning the year before that, and then Dua Lipa winning before that. So I would say that the last one that they, you could argue that they got wrong was 2018's pick, and that was Alessia Cara. She really hasn't had sustained success. She beat out Khalid, Lil Uzi Vert, Julia Michaels, and SZA that year. Now, this category has been around for a while. 1960 was the first time that they handed one out. The first winner of this award was Bobby Darin. And then the next year, 1961, Bob Newhart won, and Bob Newhart till this day is the only non-musician or non-recording artist to win this award. He was nominated and won for his work as a comedian. So he was the second recipient of this award. And the Beatles won it in 1965. Two of the other nominees that year were Astrid Gilberto and Antonio Carlos Jobim. Those are two of the collaborators with Stan Getz on that iconic Getz Gilberto album from around the same time. That was the album with the girl from Ipanema, one of the iconic bossa nova / samba albums from that whole Brazilian movement that was really breaking through in the United States in the mid 60s. But again, the Beatles won it that year. In 1970, Crosby, Stills, and Nash featuring the late, great David Crosby, they won the award. And two of the other nominees that they beat out that year were Chicago and Led Zeppelin. So Crosby, Stills, and Nash, that's how hot they were in 1970, winning the award over Chicago and Led Zeppelin, amongst others. But yeah, there are exceptions where the Recording Academy doesn't seem to have gotten it right. There are, a few, names that that you might not even recognize that had won the award not even too long ago. For instance, in 1998, Paula Cole beat out Fiona Apple, Erykah Badu, Hanson, and Puff Daddy. Paula Cole sang the songs Where Have All the Cowboys Gone? And she also sang that I Don't Want to Wait for Our Lives to Be Over. That was the Dawson's Creek theme song. So Paula Cole, big in 1998. Didn't have continued recording success going forward. But you look at most of the recipients. Lauryn Hill won it in 99. LeAnn Rimes won it in 97. Christina Aguilera actually beat out Britney Spears and others in 2000. Alicia Keys, Norah Jones, Maroon 5, John Legend, Carrie Underwood, Amy Winehouse. Like, they often get it right. It's actually pretty remarkable. But yeah, let's get into this year's nominees. We have Anitta, Omar Apollo, Domi and JD Beck, Muni Long, Samara Joy, Latto, Maneskin, Tobe Nwigwe, Molly Tuttle, and Wet Leg. So if you're talking about who dropped the best album versus who had the most commercial success this year versus who looks like they're going to have the best career going forward, it's kind of a mixed bag here. Some years it's really easy to kind of pick who should be the winner. Or at least you have somebody who's got breakthrough pop success in the United States. The only real celebrity. I mean, Latto had a huge song with Big Energy, like that was huge with that Mariah Carey, or who was it? Was it Liquid, where that sample's taken from that. which Mariah Carey would use like around 95 in the collaboration with Old Dirty Bastard. That was the Fantasy remix. But yeah, Latto had a huge single that played all over the radio, that big energy, like, you know, that uses that same sample. So she hit big. But Anitta, if you like look at her Instagram following, she's got like 60 million followers, unless I saw that wrong. But she is a huge celebrity in Brazil and now is breaking big in the United States. And this is another thing. Not all people listed as new artists will be seemingly new artists to the fans of theirs. Like, you will find artists who've been around for a few years or even have released like multiple albums. So the criteria is when they have broken through in the public consciousness, they say. That's kind of like the rule. Once they've broken through in the United States in the public consciousness, in the collective music consciousness, that's when they'll be recognized as a new artist. So yeah, you often see artists where it's like, wait a second, I know they've been around for a while. Like Kaytranada being nominated in 2021. Kaytranada had been around for years, or even last year, Glass Animals. Been around for years, but they were nominated last year as a new artist. So Anitta, she had like a huge breakthrough in Brazil, like in 2013 with the song, the smash single, Show das Poderosas. Again, that was 2013. So she's a mega celebrity overseas, internationally, and again, is just breaking big in the United States now. Like, I think she performed at Coachella last year. Omar Apollo, a pretty good kind of indie-ish singer-songwriter with some of the kind of, you know, dark wave, almost R&B-ish style production, but with, you know, some of that indie gloss where you mix in just enough acoustic with the electronics to kind of make that indie pop sound. Omar Apollo, he's been breaking big too. Not nearly the level of celebrity as Anitta, but he did his thing with this last album especially. Now, Domi and JD Beck. This is kind of like a duo of child prodigies who now play jazz together. But this isn't the same kind of jazz that another nominee here, Samara Joy, plays. Samara Joy is like a contest-winning vocalist where she's a jazz vocalist. Her music sounds like traditional jazz. Think like Sarah Vaughan, Ella Fitzgerald, and so forth. She's of that jazz vocalist ilk. Whereas Domi and JD Beck, they are kind of that new age jazz fusion that you could argue, you know, kind of started with bebop and then transitioned decades later into like the Herbie Hancock styles. It's the busier style of jazz where, you know, on this album of theirs called Not Tight, they collaborated with Thundercat, the renowned bassist. So think like Flying Lotus, where there's a lot more sound and kind of tricky, glitchy style jazz going on. So it's a bit of a jazz fusion. That's what Domi and JD Beck do. Muni Long, she's an R&B artist, kind of an indie soul artist with pop leanings. I like her latest album. She's broken pretty big too. I would say that she is probably a little more famous than, say, Omar Apollo. More famous than Samara Joy. Samara Joy is kind of one of those alternative picks where, you know, you've got like a different genre that's not so much a pop genre. Now, I don't think that her chances because of that are very good going into this, because she's up against people with more pop leanings and have more commercial or radio success. The last person who was kind of one of the, you know, the alternative genres, not alternative in terms of alternative rock, but non-pop genres, was probably Esperanza Spalding, who won it back in 2011. But yeah, Samara Joy, she is a jazz vocalist, but I don't think that her chances of winning this particular award are great. But she is a special vocalist. Now, Latto, yeah, she had that big single. She is, you know, kind of pushing to be a potentially a mainstay in the rap landscape, where, you know, she might have another, you know, radio hit a couple months from now or something like that. So Latto, she's from Atlanta, or at least kind of came up in Atlanta. She had an album a few years ago called Queen of the South. But she's definitely of that pop rap ilk, you know, the style of rap that's popularized today, which is why you hear her on the radio. Now, Maneskin, this is a rock band from Italy, an Italian rock band. It looks like they're spelled Maneskin, but I guess it's pronounced Maneskin. But they are kind of, you know, heavy rock, somewhat busy guitars. They've got some synth going. They've got a pretty powerful vocalist, but they've, for a rock band, have broken big. Like, they've already played on like Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon. They were interviewed and performed on Jimmy Fallon. So yeah, it's rare that you get rock bands these days breaking like Maneskin has broken. And they, like a lot of the artists nominated here, have been around for a few years. There are only a couple brand new artists here, like Domi and JD Beck pretty much just got going. Samara Joy's pretty new, but again, Anitta's been around for a while. Maneskin's been around for a few years. And then we've got Tobe Nwigwe. Tobe Nwigwe, he's a rapper from Texas. He's gotten popular. Like, his thing was several years ago, he would release a song every Sunday, a new song with the video on YouTube and other platforms. And so he slowly over time started getting more and more popular, started going viral with some of his videos and so forth. But he's a good rapper. I've seen him on like the Sway in the Morning show doing the freestyle, not off the top of the head, but a live rapped verse. He does his thing, as does, by the way, Latto. She's actually a pretty impressive MC style rapper. Like, she'll spit live as well. But yeah, Tobe Nwigwe started getting more and more viral, started doing collaborations with popular artists. He's on a TV show called Mo. So he might break for reasons other than his music. Like, his acting career might outpace his music career. When he performs live, he often performs with his wife, whose nickname is Fat. So she goes by Fat Nwigwe. So yeah, Tobe Nwigwe, pretty popular artist. Then we've got Molly Tuttle, who's a bluegrass artist. Bluegrass, think folk if it was sped up like 3 times as fast, where you've got kind of like the racing banjos and stuff like that, where you've got a quicker vocal delivery. It just sounds like there's more levity. You could almost picture like a grassy knoll or even a flatland. So yeah, Molly Tuttle, she's kind of heartland bluegrass, a country style artist. And then we've got Wet Leg, who is kind of a post-punk, pop artist from the UK, or band from the UK. And it's kind of surprising that they have gotten as popular as quickly as they did. Like, they were on a lot of best albums of 2022 list this year with their debut album Wet Leg. Like, they are critically acclaimed and they are growing in popularity. They had a popular song called Chaise Long, which is actually up for like best alternative song, and their album is up for best alternative music album. So they are multiple time Grammy nominated this year outside of the best new artist category. So for a pop punk group, Wet Leg is, they've actually gotten, nearly famous, where you hear their songs on certain TV shows and even commercials, stuff like that. They're outpacing a lot of their pop punk, even popular pop punk contemporaries, with how quickly they are emerging. So who do I think is gonna win? And who do I want to win? Again, Anitta is the biggest celebrity here. She's a worldwide celebrity, essentially. Again, look at her Instagram following. In terms of popularity, it's not even that close. Look, these are who I think it comes down to. I think it comes down to Anitta. Omar Apollo, I think has an outside shot. I would be surprised if Domi and JD Beck win. I would be almost as surprised if they win as if Samara Joy wins. This would be one of those outside shot Esperanza Spalding wins. Esperanza Spalding beat out Drake and Justin Bieber that year, along with Florence and the Machine and Mumford & Sons. That's who Esperanza Spalding beat for Best New Artist. Again, Justin Bieber, Drake, Florence and the Machine, and Mumford & Sons. This wouldn't be that big of an upset because there are no Billie Eilishes this year that just jump out and say, yeah, I'm obviously the winner. Or, Megan Thee Stallion, Olivia Rodrigo, Adele won in 2009. Like, there are no obvious picks where it's like, yeah, this one's a slam dunk. But I think it comes down to, I don't think Tobe Nwigwe is gonna win. He's a good artist and I think he's got a future in the industry. Same thing with Maneskin. I would just be surprised if an Italian rock band ends up winning Best New Artist at the Grammy Awards, not because it's an Italian band, but because it's a rock band. And that style of rock, kind of that overdriven, heavy guitar style rock, like it doesn't have the same widespread appeal that it did in past eras, at least now, right? So I think it comes down to Anitta, maybe Omar Apollo, Muni Long is pretty popular, but I don't think Muni Long's gonna win. I was just listening to her album again a couple days ago. Very good album, very good artist. Latto, I think, has a reasonable shot because of her commercial success. I don't think Molly Tuttle is gonna win, even though she's really popular in that genre. I think Wet Leg has a shot at winning. Look, in terms of who I personally listen to, I've been listening to more JD Beck and Domi and JD Beck than any of the artists here, probably followed by Wet Leg or Muni Long. Those are the 3 artists from here that I listen to the most. So I would like to see Domi and JD Beck win this one, followed by maybe Muni Long. I would like to see her win, and then followed by Wet Leg. So that would be my personal top 3. Domi and JD Beck, Muni Long, and Wet Leg. But I kind of think Anitta or Wet Leg is going to win this one. Again, Wet Leg, they seem to be emerging quickly popularity-wise. But yeah, I think it comes down to Anitta, Latto, or Wet Leg. I'm going to go ahead and go with Anitta here. I think they might just go with the super celebrity at this point, just because of how famous Anitta has become over the past several years. So I think that they're gonna pick Anitta to win over Latto, Wet Leg, and the others. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on this year's Best New Artist category. Who do you think will win? And who do you think should win? Or who would you like to see win? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you love music like I do. I'm Woog. Thanks for tuning in.